Hello everyone, thank you so much for coming to this bystander intervention training. I don't know about you, but I am so excited to learn more about these bystander intervention strategies and how we can really learn from one another. So as an introductory warm-up activity, what I want all of you to do is to get to know each other a bit more. As it turns out, we've probably all heard that two minds are better than one. Well, it's amazing that we have multiple minds in this room. People from all sorts of different organizations. And so I want you all to really quickly go ahead and put down on a piece of paper, or maybe just in your mind, if you don't have any paper, you can jot it down on your phone if that's convenient. But spend 1 or 2 minutes thinking about a situation in which you wouldn't know really how to step up by yourself. Maybe you wouldn't feel comfortable stepping up just by yourself. Maybe you wouldn't be sure how to step up. I'll give you an example and say that perhaps I would feel less comfortable stepping up and confronting a professor if that professor said something inappropriate in class. It's always hard to confront an authority figure. So just individually, for a couple moments, I want you all and my team of awesome student presenters here to pause me so you all can have a few moments to individually write down a situation in which you would feel not very comfortable confronting that situation by yourself. Does everyone have a situation in which you would feel uncomfortable? We all probably do. I don't want anyone to have to share those personally, but I want you to keep those in your mind. Now I want you to spend just a few moments thinking about, would it be easier to confront this situation and to make a positive impact if I had some backup? If I had someone else to really help guide me on the way and to be my bodyguard, so to speak. In my example, I know it would be personally a lot easier for me to confront a professor who said maybe an inappropriate joke in class or said something that I saw as being inappropriate in class if I didn't have to confront that professor alone. If I brought a couple of friends with me from the class who also heard that inappropriate comment, I would feel a lot better, and also I think we'd be making a more effective point to our professor if we all came together and said, Professor, we really appreciate all that you've done in this class, but we've all noticed this one particular thing you said, and this is how it made us feel. So with that in mind, I want us to do another activity to get us warmed up to this idea of what I call team intervention. Team intervention, just on the surface level, involves one person going and asking other people for backup, so to speak. It involves several people all working together to really confront an issue. It's not just a singular person going and confronting an issue, although if you feel empowered to do that, that's great. But there's some situations in which we can't always take on everything by ourselves, and we may be able to help out a situation more efficiently and be more comfortable ourselves if we have a couple of friends to help us out on the way. So, in a group of 3 or 4, I want you to spend a couple more moments, and again, you can pause me here as well. This would be a great time to spend several moments getting to know some new people. Hopefully you're already sitting with some people you don't know, and if not, that's okay. But try to go ahead and find 3 or 4 people that you've never really worked with, or if you have, you don't know them very well. And whenever you find those people, I want you to come together and do 2 things for me, please. One of those things is I want you to define a team. What is a team? How is a team different than just a group of people? And 2, after you've defined a team, I want you to come up with your own team name for your 3 or 4 numbered group now. Okay, so go ahead, put me on pause, and then we'll pick back up whenever you're done. I hope that you've had a chance to think of an awesome group name, and I'm excited to hear those later. But in the meantime, I think that most of us would probably define a team as being different than a group. So again, go ahead and pause me here, and I want us to go around all of these different new teams. I want you to tell us how you think a team is different than a group, how you define a team. So, my fellow student group here, please put me on pause as our new friends, community partners, tell us how they defined a team. Those are some awesome definitions, and that's amazing. Many of you were reading my own mind, what I was thinking. So, what I define as being a team is a group of people whose interests are joined, people who are on the same level, people who depend on each other. It's different than just a random group of people. A team, you work together, you know each other, somehow your interests are meshed up. So, it would make sense that if something in your job happened, that especially with a figure of authority, that you could get together with a team of your friends or your coworkers and be able to compassionately confront that very well. I gave you my example of how myself and a team of classmates may confront a professor who said something inappropriate. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to get back into your teams that you just made. Don't forget your teams. We're all in this together. And I want you to try to think how you would respond to this situation. So spend a couple minutes. This time you shouldn't have to pause me because the video should run by itself. But after the video ends, feel free to keep talking. And, of course, feel free to go around and share. But spend several minutes thinking about how you and your group would respond to this situation. You were at work, and your boss is being a little handsy. Nothing that is super weird per se. I mean, he seems like a very stereotypical Southern gentleman who just, maybe he doesn't know that it can be inappropriate or make people uncomfortable to, hold the women on their shoulders or to, call women sweetheart. But many women and even men in this workplace, you and your team, you've noticed your boss saying these things that are maybe calling other women sweetheart or honey or, physically touching a woman on her shoulder. You don't think it's malicious, so you don't think it's quite to the point where you should report it to PR yet, but you want to go ahead and nip it in the bud so this situation doesn't become an even bigger problem. And of course you want to make it a safe working environment for everyone, and you want to tell your boss that in a way as educational but also as compassionate as possible. So get in your groups and tell us how you would respond to that situation after you spend a couple minutes of discussion. In the meantime, it was so good to talk to you, and I'll see you all later.